One of the things that can help with grammar mistakes, and I recommend this to students all the time, is self-record. Record yourself speaking, listen back to it, because a lot of the time when these mistakes are made, the person making them doesn't even realize they've made the mistake. It's just a slip, really. It's not because they don't understand the grammar, it's just because of the fact that the concentration wasn't there, and so they made that error. So listen back to yourself. If you're making those sorts of mistakes, you really need to drill it. You really need to practice it. And the more that you practice, whether it be with a teacher, or even if it be with another candidate that you can sort of talk to and practice together, then the more you can help to sort of get rid of these errors. But as well as accuracy, again, it's about variety. So thinking about grammar, can you use conditional sentences? So if I had the opportunity of going to America, I'd visit New York. Okay, so using the second conditional, you've got there quite complex grammar. You know, if plus the past tense, and then you're using would plus the infinitive form of the verb. So these sorts of things. Some people really respond well to grammar, and they really they think about language grammatically. Others, they use it. They're not necessarily thinking about it, they use it, and they use it correctly. However you do it, it doesn't matter. You don't need to know what a modal verb is necessarily, or what a conditional sentence is necessarily, if you know how to use them. If you don't know how to use them, then you will need to know what it is in order that can be explained, and that you can help to sort of broaden your grammatical knowledge. And then finally, pronunciation. So pronunciation is obviously about being intelligible. It's got to be really clear to the examiner what you're saying. If you're not able to communicate in a way which is intelligible, then you won't be able to get a 7 or above for the IELTS. So these are things like thinking about vowel sounds, making sure you're saying hat and not hut, and knowing the difference between the two, because those sorts of things can cause barriers to communication. Sometimes with speakers as well, particularly if your first language is Arabic, there can be issues in terms of p and b. That can be a problem sometimes. It doesn't usually create issues in terms of understanding, but it does create issues in terms of accuracy. So if you're saying, I'm really happy at the moment, if you're not hitting that p phoneme and you're hitting the b phoneme instead, examiners will pick that up, and that will come down as an error as well. So again, if you record yourself and listen to yourself, those are one of the key things that you want to listen to if that is an error that you're making. And also with pronunciation, using intonation. So not just speaking at a flat pace all of the time, and therefore losing a tool you have to communicate. Okay, you don't want to do that. Sometimes you want to go up if it's necessary, usually if you're giving new information, or if you're excited about what you're saying, but also to come down. Come down if it's something that's obvious that everybody knows, or if you're communicating maybe sometimes regret, which can happen. If you're telling a story to an extent in part 2. So you can use your voice and the intonation, the rises and the falls, in order to help to communicate your ideas. And that's something that you're going to be graded on as well.